What's up, everybody? Zulu here. For today's episode of ZuluTV, I took a little extra time after the incidents with sexual harassment going on at Blizzard being exposed by the lawsuit that's been filed by the state of California and the subsequent story in Bloomberg. But I wanted to take a second to share my thoughts about what's going on. And first and foremost, the stories in the court documents are pretty explicit, at times triggering. So if you're going to take a look at them, please take a second to gather yourself and make sure that if you're someone who is triggered by stories of sexual harassment, sexual discrimination, that you take a moment to understand that before you dive in. But first and foremost, for myself, I wanted to just say that what is happening there, or what used to happen there, maybe is still ongoing, is completely and totally unacceptable. Hopefully the courts, or I guess the California government, will persecute and go after the people at Blizzard who have discriminated in this way, and we'll see those people removed from the company that makes the game that we love so much. A lot of the games that we love so much, including my beloved World of Warcraft, Warcraft 3, etc. But the second part is that while this is a big story, and the women who experienced these at times horrific treatment deserve to be listened to and heard, it's important to also understand this is a pervasive industry issue. This is not something that is just a Blizzard issue. Of course, what happened at Blizzard is not lessened by the fact that it happens elsewhere. It's still a very serious problem, but we have a really serious problem in video games in general, in both the industry and the workplace, as well as in-game. And there's a lot of people that are encouraging and using this as an excuse to harass individual developers or harass individual content creators who choose to play WoW, or friends of theirs who are continuing to play WoW. And I think that that's also unacceptable, right? Just because something has happened here, you can't use that as an excuse to harass and attack people that had nothing to do with it. Especially people, there are people, like Asmongold said, that have moved house across country to work for this company that they love, and they may have moved their whole family, and their kids are in school, and demanding that people like that quit their jobs, demanding that content creators or casters for Blizzard events or esports events just not do that anymore. Like, people have bills to pay, they have their own responsibilities, then maybe some people will quit, maybe some people won't, and everybody's going to process this in their own way. But what it really comes down to is it's totally unacceptable and bullshit to use this as an opportunity to harass and attack people. And if you are, you're part of the problem, just plain and simple. So I think, again, it's important to say that what happened at Blizzard was totally unacceptable, but you can't use that as an excuse to attack people. The third thing is that as content creators, we have a platform and responsibility, and even just if you're not a content creator, if you're a member of the WoW community or a member of a community of any game that you play, it is incumbent on you, especially if you identify as male, to squash this shit when you see it happen. When one of your guildies makes a sexist comment, you say that's unacceptable, and you hold your guildmaster accountable for holding that person accountable. If you have friends who make sexist remarks or racist remarks, it's your job to call them out and tell them that what they're doing is wrong, especially if you are a white male, identify as both of those things. So we have a responsibility, and I personally will not be leaving the WoW community. I'm going to be continuing to play the game that I love, enjoy the stories that I love so much, because it's something that I care about, and the community I've built is something that I have influence over. I think that it's incumbent on each of us, especially as content creators in the communities that we've created, to create safe spaces, to say that things like this are unacceptable, to combat it everywhere we can, because every little effort counts. If you're like me and you have 100 people on your Discord, a couple hundred people following you on Twitch, and then you put a message out that shows a unified front as far as not accepting this behavior, not accepting that behavior in your own communities, if you pull together 1,000 streamers with 100 followers, even with overlap, you're talking between 80 and 100,000 people, probably. So I think that from my perspective, I can do more good than not staying in the community. And I think games are also something, of course, that everyone has their own right to play what they want, to let off stress, to have fun with their friends. And it's not up to you to tell people what they should and shouldn't be doing, especially women, in response to this kind of event. So I thought it was important to say that. I thought it was important to share that. Thanks so much for watching, and be good to each other.